man, that introduction was kick butt. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Globe Conquerors Manila, day one of the group stage. Earlier, we just came from a game where in the first seed of Thailand, Ascension Gaming took down the sole team representing Singapore, Resurgence. But of course, a little bit of a different story right now as we head into game two. That is Philippines' MSK, first seed versus, of course, second seed of Malaysia. Team Anything, that'll be taking the stage this time around. But before we talk about the game earlier, along with the game that's to come, we are going to be your casters. I'm Arctic, and of course, with me is Chisto.
Yeah, and Arctic, of course, quick thoughts about that previous game. I feel like if the enemy Cho'Gath is basically as big as your own towers, I think you have a pretty massive problem that's glaringly obvious to deal with, and pretty much a well-deserved win for Ascension Gaming.
Yeah, kind of like the elephant in the room, although to be more apt, the creature on the rift. That
the
was
void.
Yeah, there you
the
go.
void creature. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy performance. And I don't know if it was a mix of Ascension Gaming just being Ascension Gaming. Resurgence didn't quite lay it out as I would have hoped. There was a lot that they could have done that otherwise would have not had made it the stomp that it was. I felt like there was a fighting chance there.
Yeah, I feel like if you're gonna do pick and ban and pick for your top lane, because they did have counter pick for the Cho'Gath, they decided to go with the Alawi, but didn't exactly have the right place to move her at the top side of the map. And I feel like if Resurgence were able to actually help the Alawi get ahead in lane, then they would have had a fighting chance. But the early game just went so in favor of Ascension. It allowed them to dictate majority of that game.
You know, hopefully we'll see Resurgence rebound. There's still a hell lot of games wherein they could kind of recuperate. But of course, let's go ahead and talk about this game, because I know a lot of the fans from the Philippines pretty excited about probably one of the fan favorites here in Globe Conquerors Manila right now, MSK, going up against the second seed, as I mentioned earlier, of Malaysia being Team Anything. So this is an interesting story here, because for the Philippines at least, there's always been these mix of teams that's been representing them at what was previously the Garena Premier League. We've had MSK, we've had Team Manila Eagles, which has been reformed, rebranded to Archangel, and Acclaim Empire X,
way
as well,
back.
Imperium Pro Team, a lot of these teams. So it hasn't been the same situation in other countries wherein there's always that sole representative, which leads me to Malaysia, wherein it's been the Kuala Lumpur Hunters every single time, where on the rest of the Malaysian teams kind of in the shadow of that particular team. So there's kind of that question right now as to whether or not Team Anything can deliver heading into the Southeast Asian stage.
Well, if you think about it, they could be anything. So why not the winners of this event? But yeah, going back to what you started off with, I do believe and agree with you that MSK definitely the fan favorites for this event. I'm sure a lot of the fans are cheering on for MSK. And talk me more about this team, the preparation of their players headed into this tournament. They're just coming home from a Korean boot camp, so I'm pretty sure they have a lot of those Korean what do you call this? Gameplay secrets that they could bring back into this event. So pretty excited to see what they can bring here.
Yeah, they've been working really hard. I mean, a lot of these teams have been working hard, given that it's pretty much massive. I mean, we're not talking about just the 250,000 prize pool that we have. We're in 100,000 is going to be going to the winner. Convert that into Philippine pesos, it's pretty massive, man.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Oh, man, you're going to be hella rich after this tournament. But aside from that, just to even make it to Worlds, I think that's for any pro player just to check off their bucket
list. You know, honestly, Arctic, from a player's perspective, I'd feel like the money is a nice bonus, but the chance to head straight to Worlds, that's what they're really gunning for.
So let's go ahead and check out what has transpired so far after that game one, just so that we'd give everybody a glimpse of what's happening in Group A. Of course, Ascension Gaming currently leading the fray with that one win. Resurgence currently at the bottom, but like I mentioned, so much room for Resurgence to easily make that bounce back. And of course, towards the end of the second game, we'll have a clear definition of who's kind of leaning towards the top and who's gonna need to catch up a bit after that one loss and one win respectively.
Yeah, of course, this is only the first day of the group stage. These teams are playing in a double round robin, so they have a chance to at least get revenge on the team that beat them initially. But of course, only two teams get to make it out of their respective groups, and honestly, I'm expecting Ascension to be one of them. I think after we watch the MSK and Team Anything game, we may find out who gets to be the number 2.
And it's interesting to note, though, that let's kind of talk about predictions for a teeny tiny bit for this particular group, because going back to the press con that happened earlier, Exosen was asked like who are the respectable rivals right here, the opponents. One of them of which everybody shares kind of the same opinion. Ascension definitely going to be quite the hurdle for MSK. Second that they mentioned of all teams was actually Resurgence of Singapore. So I think there's definitely quite the respect right there, and which is why I'm not necessarily discounting Resurgence just yet, given that there could be information that even we on the caster panel don't know that the other players might have gotten hold of with regards to the prep that these other teams have gone through.
Yeah, I do believe MSK and Resurgence will play later today, so I guess we get to find out where they stand in terms of their group. But yeah, headed onto the Rift matchup here, I think on this patch specifically, majority of the teams played the qualifiers for this event on patch 8.13, where funneling was a thing. We saw more bruisers and mages in the bot lane, but like the casters previously did mention, more marksmen can be more viable headed into this patch 8.15 due to the itemization changes. But it seems like Resurgence weren't exactly veering away from that. We still got to saw the Swain in the bot lane, so it seems like teams are still deciding whether or not they want to go full-on standard or can still go for those mages.
Kind of makes me wonder, especially heading into this game. We talked about MSK having gone through their bootcamp. Like, what tricks do they have up their sleeve? Because we know for a fact that MSK has been in the League of Legends scene for not just the Philippines but in Southeast Asia for so many years. In fact, representing the region at Worlds way back Season 3. So this is definitely something.
They still have the players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TG, Kaigu, Exosen. So these three particularly very, very hungry to get back to Worlds. And just based on the prep, a lot of people are expecting this could be their season. But then again, you don't want to discount other teams who have been very, very consistent, such as Ascension Gaming, who's also been the fan favorite, especially for their peeps that are cheering for them in Thailand.
Yeah, and you have to think about it, Arctic. We had questions headed into that game whether or not Lloyd could function as the team's new junglers, considering that he was an AD carry, but it seems like his pathing was kind of on point during that game. So a few of our questions getting answered. We still get to see as the tournament moves forward.
Definitely not a detriment for Ascension Gaming, in which case that minor switcheroo, we have seen that happen for a number of teams. MSK actually, Exosen way back was like AD carry. I think he played a different role before as well, aside from
I feel like Exosen historically has played every role available in professional League of Legends.
Yeah, but definitely a lot more comfort in the mid lane from what we've been seeing, that's for sure. And you also have to take note, we've been talking about their bootcamp preparations. You also can't discount the fact that they've also introduced their two imports as well, both Gary and June. So just really looking to see how this all comes together heading into the game, because MSK performing in their qualifiers was without a doubt in top shape. Not a single team came close to matching MSK's prowess.
Yeah, but we've talked quite a bit about MSK Art. Let's head over to the other side of the rift here on the Team Anything. And like you mentioned, for the other regions, it's especially for Malaysia here, it's always been the Kuala Lumpur Hunters who have really been dominating their League of Legends scene. But now the second seed headed into this tournament, Team Anything, we can't really gauge how well they can perform compared to the other teams, but who knows? They can be anything, like you mentioned previously.
I feel like these puns are gonna come naturally.
It's gonna be
for the both of
bad
us.
pun over bad pun for
Yeah.
Team Anything.
Pardon us, guys. The puns are gonna come not just for this game, but I mean even behind the scenes, like the number of puns that we could.
It's gonna be a lot of bad forced jokes.
Yep.
Regarding their team name.
But looking at the roster, that Team Anything does have one person that I do recognize here, if I'm not mistaken, is actually Aaron. I believe Aaron played during the. I think he played during All Stars. One of the chosen All Stars of Malaysia, if my memory serves me correctly. Do correct me if I'm wrong.
You can search that up.
Yeah, search that
just
up.
to confirm.
Yeah, I'm gonna search that up a little bit later on. But it just goes to show that there are quite a number of stars in Malaysia. I mean, I've been following a number of players, not just from their pro scene, some of their collegiate talent as well, which has transitioned to their own pro scene as well. So, I don't know. I really don't want to discount Team Anything just yet, but it's just the fact that all these teams from Malaysia have always been under, kind of in the shadow of the Kuala Lumpur Hunters. So there is a lot of doubt. But like I did mention, anything goes. Hopefully, that shadow that's on them right now, they could kind of throw away through the script
my
stage.
question, Arctic, is whether or not Aaron is an anime fan.
You know what? We've had a lot of these players kind of derive their favorites from animes, from their childhood favorite games. So I wouldn't be surprised.
No, historically, though, most players who derive their name from Attack on Titan are really good internationally.
Actually.
Levi, Gigabyte Marines, moving over to NA. He's really good, but Let's see whether or not Aaron can actually match his captain as per the anime.
We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully. Oh, man. But of course, ladies and gents, just chill for just a bit. We'll be heading into the game. So once again, you guys are watching Group A. By the way, you might be wondering, what about teams like Bigatron Esports, like Archangel,
Kuala Lumpur
like
Hunters.
Mega and Kuala Lumpur Hunters. So you guys will be seeing them in action tomorrow during day 2 of the group stage. This is a double round robin, so we have a total of 4 days ahead of us. Group A, Group B kind of going simultaneous all the way up to the final 4 teams that will play at the big event at Noah Arena on August 18 to 19. By the way, to the Philippine fans, tickets are still available, selling like hotcakes, man. So be sure to get your tickets. Yeah, it's kind of an expression that they use when something sells really well.
Okay.
You learn something today.
Okay.
Learn something every day.
That's kind of new for me, Arctic. But yeah, hotcakes, I guess. Let's just roll with it.
Yeah, sure.
It's fine.
But yeah, to all the Philippine fans, tickets, be sure to purchase at all SN ticket outlets nationwide. So might want to take advantage of the opportunity to buy earlier on. Don't want to take that chance to buy at the venue wherein could be, who knows, could be sold out, but we'll just have to see. So I think we'll be heading into...
Yeah, I do believe we are ready for pick and ban. So let's see what these teams decide to pick up once we head on to Champion Select.
This is going to be really, really interesting, and into it we shall go. Go Conquerors Manila. Once again, Game 2, Mineski versus Team Anything. First game for both of these teams. Of course, only one can come out victorious. First ban right off the back going to be on the Rakan.
Yeah, targeting the support role. Of course, Rakan, one of the highest tier supports at the moment. Very effective when it comes to engaging, and his laning isn't that bad as well. Mineski just going to deny it, not willing to first pick it on blue side. As we saw from Ascension earlier, let's see what Team Anything decides to remove. Aatrox will be the thing denied away from Mineski. Alistair.
A lot of focus.
Yeah, a lot of focus onto 404 in the bot lane. A lot of support bans here. Consider that Mineski are playing with James, not their original starter support, which was TG. He has been moved to a sub position, so James will be filling it for that role. Maybe this is what they discovered in their bootcamp, Arctic. Maybe Gary has better synergy with James, or not just James with Gary, but maybe James with the entire team overall. So maybe that's the adjustment that Mineski wants to do here. But interesting ban here from Team Anything, denying the Gragas away from Jun.
So far with what we have here, I'm wondering if there's going to be another... Okay, so it's not going to be a support. It's actually going to be the Zoe this time around, taken away from the mid laner of Team Anything.
Yeah, now I'm expecting Team Anything to go for a Nocturne ban, because if Mineski does have that available on their turn to pick, I do believe Jun does play that champion. It will be an extra high priority pick here for both teams. So I'm expecting a Nocturne ban to come out here from Team Anything.
Morgana ban.
Will we see the Nocturne? I want it to be a Nocturne.
Let's see what Mineski will be prioritizing for their first pick. Still looking for a hover over Talia. That won't be just a hover over. That's going to be a lock-in straight off. Interesting first way to go for Mineski.
So I'm thinking that the Talia might go to Jun in the jungle. Nocturne Talia, top tier junglers at the moment. Seems like they did select the mage for their jungle. Let's see what Team Anything decides to respond with. There are still a lot of power picks available, such as the Swain, the Nocturne, like I previously mentioned. But Camille will be the selection here for Team Anything.
So with the Camille locked in right there, still a bit of uncertainty with where that's going. So a lot of flexibility, actually even for Mineski to an extent.
Oh yeah.
Flexibility could go to June, could go to XSN. But with that said, it's like a Saya gonna be potentially locked in for Ravena right there. So okay, we have a clarity on what will be sent towards bot side. Mineski wondering if they're gonna respond with their own marksman. Speaking of which, a Varus hovered over.
You know, I like the Varus here being hovered by Mineski, because if they do lock him in, there are two popular builds on Varus at the moment. One thing that I've been seeing in LCK in the Korean server was the Lethality Varus build, where you go for more of a poke build rather than a DPS on-hit style, where his Q just deals absurd amount of damage. And if Team Anything don't draft a tank here, it might be quite difficult to deal with the poke coming from that Varus. Shen will be the next pickup here by Mineski, most likely headed onto the support role.
Yeah, that is a lot of initial crowd control coming off from these first 3 picks of Mineski. But that said, looking at Team Anything here, wondering how they're going to wrap up this composition, but still definitely not that much clarity on Mineski's side with the Stalia and Shen pick, with where they're going, mid or mid or jungle respectively for the Talia. Meanwhile for the Shen, could go top, could go support for Hamas, but looks like it will be Tom Kench for the meantime for Team Anything.
Yeah, since Rakan wasn't available, Arctic, Team Anything gonna decide to go for the Tom Kent. You're gonna add a bit more protection for their Xayah, who's already a very safe AD carry. Does have self-peel with the ultimate, but seeing the Varus, seeing the Shen, all those engage options from Mineski, you want the protection of the Tom Kench, and not just a Devourer for that protection. You also have the Abyssal Voyage for the ability to roam around the map. So I like the pickup here by Team Anything, having a bit more map pressure to at least match the global of the Shen. But speaking of globals, Galio gonna be removed here from the game.
Galio. So that said, with the Galio being banned out here, so definitely taking away from mid lane here. I'm wondering if that's going to be a constant here from Mineski though. Still waiting for that second ban coming in from Team Anything. Okay, so the Orin much more focused here onto Kaigu with Team Anything going to take the gamble of the Shen going support.
You know, I'm very interested on why Team Anything decided to ban tanks from the top lane, because I feel like Kaigo is more of a carry type of top laner where he plays champions such as the Camille, such as the Gangplank, or the Jace, or even the Nar. So interesting here from Team Anything. What do they decide to go for? Because we get to find out in this pick whether or not the Camille will be going to the jungle or towards the top side of the map.
Well, looking at Team Anything right here, so we are yet to see what they could be sending here for mid lane, though they might want to reserve it for that last pick in case of wanting to go for that last encounter. But no, looks like it will be an Orianna locked in.
Okay, so with the Orianna locked in here, Arctic, they're saving the mind game for their last pick. Mineski still doesn't know whether or not the Camille will go to either Shiny or onto Eyebrows. So Nar will be the hover right now for Mineski. Does have a pretty safe matchup against the Camille in a 1v1. So I like this pickup by Mineski. Now they're looking for either a mid laner or a jungler, deciding on whether or not... Okay, so Trundle gonna be the selection by Mineski. Gonna go to the jungle. So that means mid lane Talia for Exoset.
Yeah, and it's like good call from Team Anything, predicting right that Shen will be designated as support for Hamas. Hence, Mineski needing to revert to a Nar pick for Kaigo right here. But meanwhile, Team Anything hover over this Jace.
Oh, and I like the Jace into the Nar matchup. It's very much a skill matchup, but I feel like it's easier. Okay, Arctic, they're just bamboozling us. They will instantly swap it over to the Sejuani. I was getting ahead of myself there, but...
Same.
Yeah, so Camille will be the matchup into the Nar top lane. They were deciding whether or not they wanted to send her jungle, but look at the amount of team fighting and pick potential on the side of Team Anything. It feels as if their comp wants to start a fight against Mineski, they could easily start one. As for Mineski, I feel like they're going to have to rely more on the split push alongside with Kaigu's Nar here. So different win conditions for both teams here.
So there we have it for both sides right here. Mineski and Team Anything have their compositions locked in. By the way, for those of you that are tuned in, not just from the Philippines, we actually have viewers all across Southeast Asia. Be sure to share the stream, whether you're watching from Facebook Live, YouTube Gaming, and of course, our Twitch stream. Currently up and kicking right now, finally. Usually we only stream through the first two platforms. Oh, so now we have Twitch this time around. So, looks like we'll be finding out who's going to be taking first blood in the Group A between Mineski and Team Anything right here. First win, rather.
First win. I definitely feel like the early game can go in favor of Mineski, given that they have a lot of map movements early with the Talia. And with the Trundle, they can easily move through the river and affect either side lane that they choose to. But once we go on to those big on team fights, look at the engage coming from Team Anything. Like I mentioned previously, if they want to fight, there will be a fight. So Mineski has to watch out for that engage.
So, looking at these two compositions though, I mean, for Team Anything, I was thinking like, Mineski, okay, Team Anything. Like, what would they ideally want to accomplish with this composition? Because like you mentioned, for Mineski, there's definitely a lot of split push potential right there. So what would they want to force out here just to prevent Mineski from split pushing for days?
I feel like if Team Anything are able to get out of laning phase with a decent enough lead or just go even with Mineski, once we transition onto fights over objectives such as the Baron, I feel like it'll just favor Team Anything in terms of they're going to dictate most of what happens on the map.
So there we have it. Both sides, a little bit of a recap of what transpired there through pick and ban, of course. If you're rooting for Mineski, be sure to use our hashtag MSKWin. Or if you're rooting for the second seed of Malaysia, Team Anything, be sure to use that hashtag TATWin. So looks like I'm raring to go, Chisto. Let's go ahead and head on to the Rift. See you in a bit. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are heading into Game 2 for Day 1 of the group stage live at Globe Conquerors Manila between Mineski, first seed of the Philippines, versus Team Anything, second seed of Malaysia. Only one can triumph and get their first win in the group stage for Day 1. Is it going to be Mineski? Is it going to be Team Anything? We'll find out as we let the action transpire for itself. Let's go.
So I'm looking at the skin choice here from Mineski. I like that Gary decided to go for the Conqueror Virus skin. It's very appropriate for this particular event.
Actually,
if you think about it, skin choice matters a lot in game.
Can a bit.
No karma in this game though.
No.
So no matching for that virus.
Well, in all fairness, for viewers that will be watching the event live at Mo Arena, they'll be getting Conqueror's karma for themselves.
Oh, I would love to get that free skin.
Man. It's pretty worth.
We'll be watching the event too.
Yeah. Oh man, but let's go ahead and check out the starts here. Take note though that Team Anything already getting some defensive vision on, just to make sure that nobody from Mineski transitions onto their own red side, while Eyebrows pretty much finds comfort in taking the blue buff with the assistance of 404 and Rubena.
Something to point out here, Arctic. Consider that both AD carries decided to take the teleport summoner spell. In the recent patches, teleport actually has been nerfed. The cooldown was increased into 6 minutes, so you can use it less to get back into lane. So interesting choice here by both bot laners, but not gonna miss. Not gonna threaten anything. Just a few pokes onto James.
Yeah, I have to take note. Gary and James, because of Rubena and 404 here, it's like they will have to be restrained a tad bit under turret. Eyebrows is already looking, well, actually both junglers already looking to take their respective Rift Scuttlers.
The Gary and James have to be careful here though, because Eyebrows is towards the bot side of the map, but there was a ward placed by Exos, and I believe that will spot him out, so they have info on where the jungler is. Jun is going to clear fairly quickly here though. So
it is interesting to note that across all lanes for Mineski, everybody is pushing in. Team Anything across lanes in the midst of that, just kind of forced to deal with whatever waves pushing onto them. Jun though, cheeky move, will be heading into the jungle side of Team Anything. Looks like he will find this red buff and he will be going for it, but take note, Eyebrows already making his way himself, will catch off the frozen domain, knowing very well that June is in that brush right there. Eyebrows just kind of lingering, gonna give up that red buff, not gonna be contesting.
He has to give it up. His mid laner did not have lane priority since Exosen shoved in the wave, so if there was a fight, it would have favored Mineski since both their laners could have easily collapsed. So that just gonna give up the red buff. So Jun getting the perfect start here on the Trundle, actually getting 3 buffs away, but the taunt will land in the bot lane.
Yeah, getting quite a bit of damage there. Onto 404. 404 meanwhile managing to get off Hamas, but look at 404 in exchange. Takes so much damage. Gary flashes his first blood, going to him with that auto attack. Meanwhile, we'll just try to walk away from Rubena. Rubena trying to do what he can with those auto attacks. Those reduce Hamas and Gary to quite a significant low health, but in the end, it's the first blood that matters for Mineski.
Yeah, aggression there from the bot lane of Mineski. Gary knew he could kill the Tahm Kench within 2 auto attacks. That's why he decided to go for the flash forward. Remember, there's no heal in that 2v2, so nothing to save the Tahm Kench there. Does not have both his summoners. Might invite a gank from the jungler of Mineski. But speaking of ganks, look at the top lane here, Arctic. Eyebrows is stuck in the bush.
Oh,
Little Kaigu push up here.
yeah, that's quite a bit of a wave that he's dealing with, and quite a number of seconds in exchange that Eyebrows has been waiting around towards topside, but hasn't really led to anything still. Kaigu looks like he is starting to put the pedal to the metal here. Not last hitting. Okay. Using the boomerang to catch out Eyebrows there. And good move right there by Kaigu.
He knew something was up, Arctic.
Yep.
That's what he learned in boot camp.
Actually.
Yeah. It's
And
really smart.
as a result, like we've been kind of worrying there, Eyebrows wasted a hell lot of seconds that he could have been using to have already recalled, go back to leveling up through, taking jungle camp. So, bit of a shame right there.
Yeah, and going back, if you think about it, they knew exactly where the Sejuani would be on the map. They're doing a good job of tracking where Eyebrows is moving. They knew that he didn't decide to challenge your red buff, so the only camp he could go to was the Krugs. But speaking of
James not landing the taunt onto 404, taking quite the full stacks. 404 won't be pursuing though, with Exosen joining the fray, making sure to sway off Team Anything from further pursuit.
Yeah, but going back, MSK are actually doing a good job of tracking where the Sejuani is in this early game. They're making good use of their wards, so they're not under any threat at the moment. And I feel like it's just up to Team Anything to try and find that hole in the vision of MSK if they want to pull off a successful gank.
Yeah, meanwhile, Kaigu will be making his back right now. So far, not really that bad here. Shiny actually going to be using teleport to get back to lane right in a jiffy. So any form of response coming from this Camille, going to have to rappel his way through the rift if ever he does want to. Same goes for Kaigu right here. So it looks like we won't be seeing any funny business from the top laners making a transition towards bot lane anytime soon.
Speaking of transitions, I'm looking at the minimap right now. The Sejuani is moving towards the top side. Kaigu hasn't spotted this yet, but he is level 6 with a bit of a Narbar to work with. So if a gank does happen, just have a bit of outplay potential. Speaking of ganks,
yes, ooh, jump in right there. That will be Hexic Illuminate to lock down that Gnar right there. Eyebrows hit and at it as well.
Narbar.
Kaigu just a few more hits though, and that will be the kill. Shiny takes quite a bit of turret aggro though. Exosen will be using the Weaver's Wall. Unfortunately, separates him from Shiny, but that won't matter. Gonna go straight in for the kill, 1-for-1.
yeah, 1-for-1 in the top lane. Exosen, no more mana, so not gonna pursue the Sejuani. I did mention Kaigu had a Narbar to work with. Unfortunately, does not build it up fast enough, so it does still go down after that gank. Still, good pick up there. I guess Team Anything were able to find the hole in the vision of Mineski. Remember, Kaigu did place that ward. Unfortunately, it wasn't able to spot Eyebrows on the Sejuani.
Yeah, wasn't able to anticipate that potential round 2 right there. But good thing for Exosen, was able to linger up towards top side in time to at least equal that 1-1. Mineski, sneaky play right there, able to take the blue buff from Eyebrows.
Yeah, and even with that gank, Arctic, Team Anything doesn't exactly gain much. Look at what Mineski took, but speaking of Mineski taking something, mid lane,
Looks like will restrain themselves after catching out Shiny. Man, Mineski, like you mentioned, vision has been on point right here. They've managed to prevent quite a bit, but I'm not sure if they'll be able to prevent this though if ever Eyebrows goes for a flankeroo.
Exosen does not have cleanse.
Yautza! That's going to be the lockdown coming in from Eyebrows. Full lockdown coming in from Team Anything. Exosen not even standing a chance. That will be Shiny at the end of the day getting the kill.
Yeah, no cleanse for Exo in the mid lane. Took heal in Champ Select, meaning that it's an easy gank as long as the Sejuani is able to land that Glacial Prison. And remember, Exosen had to burn his flash to trade that kill 1-for-1 into top lane. Good punish by Team Anything.
Didn't stand a chance. That constant lockdown of crowd control coming in from Team Anything right there. Looks like Mineski will at least make sure to not surrender as much by reestablishing control towards this top side right here. Rift Herald will be spawning anytime soon, so definitely something that they want to look out for.
Ham is just gonna try and zone away Ribena from this wave. Of course, once the Shen hits level 6, he'll be moving way more around the map with his Stand United. Gonna try and look for those roams.
That is kind of the beauty of Hamas on the Shen right here. Sure, Kaigu won't be able to make any responses. Same goes for Shine anytime tuned towards bot side, but for any funny business that happens towards mid or top lane respectively for Mineski, they could rely on Hamas to instantly bring up their numbers.
Okay, so Team Anything seem to be camping the mid lane here. They do have the Scuttle Crab, meaning that top side river is fully in control of the Malaysian squad. Look at all the red wards in that river, so they're definitely going to be able to spot out where the Trundle is. The swing of vision has been very interesting in this game, Arctic. During the first 5 minutes, we were praising Mineski for their ability to track where Eyebrows was, but just a few ganks turns it around. for Team Anything.
Team Anything really pumping up the gaming vision right now, and it's gonna be all the more trickier for Mineski at this point, unless they could start bringing up that same vision that we were looking at within those first 5 minutes. But yeah, looks like taking a little bit more of a calm pace right here. Eyebrows will get spotted out towards this bot lane, hence signaling Gary and Hamas to kind of pull back a bit.
Blast Cone is available. Speaking of things being available, everyone's just pretty much walking mid lane here, Arctic. I feel like they just want to kill Exocen over and over.
Okay, 404 gonna go straight in. We'll get the taunt out of there, Hamas. So that will be mission abort for Team Anything, unfortunately for them, but all the more good for Gary and Hamas, not even needing to expend a single summoner.
Yeah, awkward gank there by Team Anything. They just Abyssal Void straight into a Shen taunt and the Varus ultimate. Gonna be an easy disengage, but it does deny Mineski a bit of playmaking potential. But speaking of making plays, here comes the teleport.
Yep, Gary gonna come back in late, not wanting to waste any time, coming in to potentially go for 404. 404, luckily enough, was able to walk his way back under turret, but with Shun right there towards the bottom, looks like he's gonna make an easy transition towards lane this time around, probably go back to farming, but again, a lot of these attempts happening, no casualties.
There's no Stand United available. I do believe it was a bit of overkill in the bot lane. Speaking of overkill,
yes, Eyebrows trying to get the slowdown onto Kaigu. Kaigu, luckily enough, didn't get slowed down for a potential lockdown coming in from Team Anything, and he's going to be A-okay.
Yeah, things have been progressing quite slow here in this game, Arctic. Initially, we thought these teams would just go at each other, but a few ultimates and globals burned means that there's less playmaking potential across the map, so less action gonna happen. Both teams just gonna go back to farming.
Oof.
But if the pace of this game does keep moving forward at this rate, I do believe it does favor Team Anything. They have pretty good team fight potential and scaling. But speaking of team fights, Exocen gonna go for a Weaver's Wall.
Yeah, gonna try to make something happen here in the bot lane. Hamas does need to back away, though, not wanting to get the gobble up from 404, and that is going to be the mission abort from Mineski. Attempt after attempt coming in from both sides, trying to make something happen, but hasn't really led to fruition whatsoever for either side here.
I'd like to know the call that Mineski made in that particular scenario, because Exo cast his ultimate, but taunt.
Okay, Gary tries to get the lockdown. 404 almost going down right there. Gonna pop a bit of a shield. Gary will try to go in on him. Moment of stasis for him. One more auto attack though. Meanwhile, Hamas is dealing with the Remnant. Eyebrows gonna be joining the fray along with Sari. I don't think the Shen will last long enough. Gary goes down. 2 members down for the count from Mineski. 1 for 2 in favor of Team Anything.
Yeah, a lot of kills picked up there by Team Anything. Shiny did expend his teleport, so more map pressure onto the side of Mineski for the next 6 minutes. But that's still 3 kills now over to the Camille, and it's going to be hard for Kaigo to actually match him in a 1v1 scenario. That was a very interesting sequence of events in the bot lane.
True. I'm kind of wondering, Mineski needs to kind of remove whatever jitters they're having right now, because...
Warm-up game? Question mark?
I don't know, man. Not the best start, but still quite a bit of room to hopefully regain composure. But with 4 members going on to Kaigo right here, a little bit of a different story. Flashes out of the glacial prison, but still with the shockwave right there. And 4 members of Team Anything. Damages just too much, even with Meganar in form. And that will be another kill into the belt of Team Anything.
That's 4 ultimates burned just to kill the top laner of Mineski. That's the kind of commitment you want to see from Team Anything if they want to secure a lead in this game. And speaking of securing leads, Rift Herald will definitely be a huge help to them, but unfortunately they have to give up their bot lane tower. And if you think about it, if they stuck around bot side, they would have risked a Mineski dive.
True.
So they just abandoned that tower and, okay, let's just go top lane, kill their top lane, and pick Rift Herald, and hopefully use this to trade a tower of our own. So that's a good play coming from the Malaysian squad.
Yeah, not to mention getting Rift Herald towards the end of all that. So I think Team Anything definitely looking forward here. Knowing that that turret wasn't really going to be long of the world, so just kind of abandoning that, making something happen towards topside, and definitely worked out for them. Mineski, though, of course, with Rift Herald taken, signals to them to not only take that outer turret towards bot side, will get themselves a dragon as well.
Yeah, a lot of cross-map trading happening here, Arctic. And if you think about it, most of the vision and control from Team Anything was around top half of the map. That's why they decided to go there. But Urbina's caught. and he's basically dead.
Yeah, looks like Mineski not going to stand for anything anymore after Team Anything with 2 successful wins towards bot and top respectively. Mineski had enough, making something happen in the mid lane, taking down ADC from Team Anything.
He actually died so fast, there's not even time to commentate that.
Actually.
He just died once he panned onto our screen, so gets caught out there. Does have teleport to get back into the action fairly quickly.
Oh man, let's go ahead and check out the gold count here right now. As you were talking about earlier, Shiny definitely leading the fray for Team Anything, but look at this in exchange for Gary. Quite a bit of a difference if you're going to compare him to his counterpart in the bot lane from Team Anything. So that's definitely something that's working for Mineski right now, even with that 1 kill up from Team Anything.
Yeah, the gold difference is a good indication of what has been happening across the map here, because looking at the members of Team Anything, most of the gold lead is around the top half of the map, whereas for Mineski, it's focused more towards the bot lane.
Ooh, well, quite the push in here towards mid lane. Mineski starting to get some offensive vision onto the side of Team Anything, not really wanting to give Team Anything the freedom to make sets for themselves. June gonna poop his way onto Rabena, just gonna try to scare him off. We'll just back away though.
He's just gonna summon his traffic cone.
Yep.
From underground. But Rift Herald has been summoned in the mid lane, I believe. Seems like these teams in this situation. Exosen does have a lot of wave clear accessible to him, but that's still a lot of chip damage onto the mid lane turret.
Yes, unfortunately, Team Anything won't be able to utilize Rift Herald to get the full push in onto mid lane. It's actually Mineski that gets much more value through that top turret at the end of the day, but looks like that's going to be a collapse going on to Eyebrows. 3 members made that 4 members of Mineski trying to get onto the Sidlani, but 404 coming in to speed off the members of Mineski from getting to the back line. Looks like it's going to be
dead.
Members of Team Anything tries to go in. June trying to chomp onto the members of TAT that go for him, but easily Mineski going to turn things around straight for them. Already 4 members down from the count from Team Anything. Sorry, forced to flash away to prevent himself from becoming that one last casualty. Wow, 4 for 1 in favor of Mineski.
Yeah, that's a 4 for 1 on the side of Mineski. Even if Gary dies so early into that fight, Mineski still come out on top. I do believe there was a good Gnar ult from Kaigo. Man, I would love to see a replay of that team fight. Just Mineski finding the right fight. Means he can take down the mid lane tower here. They've been controlling the towers on the map fairly well here, Arctic. They've already taken down all of the outer turrets on the side of Team Anything, really pinching where their team could go.
Ah, man. So let's... With that said, because even with Gary going down, let's see what happens here.
So this is actually Mineski opting to start the fight here. She teleports from out here. Gary is basically in the middle of everything. The Abyssal Void is right on top of him. Even though all of the focus was onto Gary, EXO was still able to dish out all of the damage that he needed. Actually a good flash away from the shockwave by the members of Mineski. Team Anything just not dealing the same amount of damage early. That's why Mineski won this fight.
That's unfortunate. If you're going to look at the earlier parts of that fight, why, even though Team Anything had a great front line, the follow-up damage coming in from Ravenna and Sire right there wasn't quite there during the initial parts, which is why Mineski, even with Gary going down, just because it took so long for Team Anything to get their damage halfway through that fight, easily allowed Mineski to sway things back.
Yeah, and Zari decided to go for the Archangel Staff build here, so he's not going to be online as quickly as Exos, and who opted for the Luden's Echo. The damage will be a bit more massive coming from the Talia in this mid-game. The members of Team Anything are still scaling up, so even if they were able to find the pick onto Gary, they still weren't able to match the damage from the side of Mineski. And speaking of damage, Hammers is caught here.
Yep, looks like we'll get supported by 3 members total from Mineski, easily taken down. That's a Juani. Tankiness, not a problem. Oh, but Tama is going to go for the flash taunt onto the members of Team Anything. That will be the Weaver's Wall to cancel out an escape from 404. 404 casually walking back, but going to get pulled back in by Exos, and Ravenna forced to flash away, and that's going to be 2 more down for the count from Team Anything. And Mineski goes straight away on this mid lane.
Yeah, 2 seismic shoves lands perfectly from Exos, and super on point on those Talia W. Secures 2 kills on the side of Mineski. See, this is Mineski saying that they know they're ahead and they want to fight against Team Anything. They're going for more.
Yep, gonna go for more members of Mineski. Unfortunately for Ravenna, even though he wanted to try to hold them down, just not a good deal right there. Meanwhile, Eyebrows and Sire looks like Team Anything going to try to reverse things. Going to try to go for Gary. That will be Stand United going on to the Varus. Meanwhile, Shiny going to lock down Exos. And moment of stasis for him, though, with Gary hitting in from the back line. That will be the takedown, though, onto the ADC of Mineski. Hamas will be the next to fall. Total of 3 members down for the count from Mineski. And that will be Team Anything managing to salvage themselves and regain their composure. Can they go for more, though?
Yeah, Mineski tried to go for the aggressive dive onto Ribena, but they overextended quite a bit going for that mid lane dive. EXO actually survives at the end of all of that. Great use of the stopwatch. Now they're going to go for more here. Shockwave.
Ooh,
Not land.
Won't get to connect onto Kaigo. Meanwhile, Kaigo trying to hit away onto Shiny. We'll just back away, though. Still a lot of heavy numbers here for Team Anything as they try to hit away onto this turret. Unfortunately, still not able to take down that outer mid turret.
Yeah, I'm looking at the map here, and the objective that Team Anything can take is the Infernal Drake that has just spawned. Mineski is collapsing, but I don't think they're going to make it in time. Team Anything just going to pick up this free Infernal Drake.
Interesting enough. I'm not sure if the Malaysian squad did not catch that control ward, even with 404 retreating on top of it.
They didn't have time to clear it, Arctic.
I guess.
The Dragon was just way better.
Huh, interesting. So I guess that is priorities, because even down to the few seconds that they might have taken for that control ward would have meant Mineski being able to respond. So I guess I'd have to agree with your priorities right there indeed.
And funny stuff here, you think that Mineski would have the momentum after going for that. Speaking of dives,
Yep, even more happening right there. Weaver's Wall going to try to cancel out the escape from Team Anything, but luckily Eyebrows dashing his way out of there along with 404 salvaging his AD carry, preventing any deaths from the side of Team Anything. But still, this does allow Mineski to gain control over the upper jungle of Team Anything.
yeah, you see the value of having the Tom Kench onto your team, even though Ribena was caught there by Mineski. Just having the Devour available means he can get out. The Shiny is split pushing in the bot lane. There's still no one on the side of Mineski to match him. Kaigu and Exosen have recalled, but I think this tower is going down.
Yeah, Shiny just making great work of that turret. Looks like 2 members of Mineski, both Kaigo and Exosen respectively, will try to contest, but still Shiny just managing to style his way out of there. No problem whatsoever for the top laner of Team Anything.
It seems like he wants to stick around here, Arctic. He's hiding in Fog of War. Now, this is what Team Anything has to do. They need to play around their Camille split push because they know that no single member of Mineski can deal with him in a one-on-one. So they're trying to separate the members of Mineski so that they can find a favorable fight.
Meanwhile, looks like Mineski in the midst of Kaigo and Exosen dealing with the push coming in from Shiny. Luckily, they were able to establish quite a decent control of vision towards this top side as well, given that Baron kind of the apple of the eye of both teams at this point in the game.
You know, I feel like since you mentioned Baron, Mineski needs to set up and possibly try and take that objective soon, because if they aren't able to siege and Team Anything is able to stall, I'm looking at the growing problems here for Mineski. The Sejuani is going to get even tankier. The Orianna is going to scale up, already has 2 items. And nobody on the side of Mineski is actually going to match the Camille one-on-one. So the problems on the side, the issues that Mineski has to face late game is just growing and growing.
Yeah, it's taking a little bit of a slow turn here for Mineski, and not just a slow turn, but with Shiny right here, that will be Stand United coming in from Kaigo. But look at all that damage that he's taking from that Camille. Shiny goes for the straight dive in. That's going to be perfect timing on the Mega Nard. Shiny, though, getting that shield, able to withstand the damage coming in from Kaigo. Looks like Hamas is going to be in his next target right here. Look at this, shredding away onto that. One more hit, double kill for the Camille, and Team Anything's top laner is on fire.
I did mention nobody on the side of Mineski can deal with Shiny in a one-on-one, much a 2v1. Now EXO wants to pick this fight against the Camille. He has to be very careful though.
Yes. Luckily, it looks like Shiny will give up his life right there. But meanwhile, look, take note, 404 along with the Saya gonna go for a ride there in the bot lane. Was it the right call though? That's gonna be the takeaway of ultimate from Gary right there, but still Pillar gonna slow both down. Probably not the best decision for Team Anything to have made the trip in the end. Eyebrow's gonna be front lining to prevent further from the members of Mineski. Gonna try to go for the Orianna instead. That will be Eyebrows trying to get away. Moment of stasis won't be enough for the Orianna to tell the tale. Ooh, manages to take down Gary right there, unfortunately. And still, with the members of Mineski coming in from the back line, though, able to salvage that right there. Orianna goes down. Total of 5 members down from the count from Team Anything. That will be the ace for Mineski.
Yeah, messy stuff right there by Team Anything. They had so much control after Shiny was able to win that 2v1 against Kaigo and James, but I think the Abyssal Voyage onto the bot lane was not the proper call. I think they could have gone for something like a Baron or the mid lane tier 2 tower. Now, MSK are picking the Baron here. They actually want to start this. They do have Kaigo here to deal the damage, but note that the Xayah does have TP. If this Baron doesn't go down quickly, Team Anything could easily respond to this. They know it's happening. It's at 7k.
Okay, teleport is coming in just so that MSK has their full 5 numbers here. Still quite a bit of help to go on this Baron. Weaver's Wall will come in. Force tries to do what he can, but looks like MSK holding the breath. We're able to take that Baron A-OK.
I think MSK got a bit lucky there that they were able to secure that Baron. Is now on their side. Now their objective is to at least break the base of Team Anything, but I do believe we have a replay of that 2v1 in the bot lane.
So let's see what happens right here.
Ooh, so let's see. Oh, actually, it's the team fight that led to MSK securing that Baron. Now, I feel like Team Anything didn't have to take this fight. They could have just went for the push mid lane and got the tower out of it, but still, Exosen super on point with his shoves, just landing it over and over, but no, Team Anything tries to salvage this situation, but Kaigo already respawned after the 2v1. Now, this is just sad to watch. Turns into the mid laner.
Right.
Free kill for James.
I think it was a bit of the lure of most of the health bars from the 3 members of MSK already nearing half, if not already less than half health, along with the low mana bars that kind of tempted them to stick around, not estimating that Kaigo and James were already up from death by that time because of that overstay.
Yeah, and with Baron on the side of MSK, it means that Shiny won't have the same freedom when it comes to split pushing away from the rest of his team. Kaigo does not have teleport, so this is effectively a 4v5.
Yeah, looks like Team Anything, though, gonna try to prevent MSK from utilizing that Baron. Gary goes down, taken down by Shiny. Team Anything are restraining themselves quite a bit, though. We'll just back away for now. All 5 members still intact with the ADC down from MSK.
Yeah, that's a smart call by Team Anything not to overextend for that fight. They already got the Varus away from MSK. That will stop the siege. No marksman means no real damage to the towers. They are happy with that. They will remove a lot of time onto that Baron. They've given up 1 tower, but it's a tower they can give up.
Meanwhile, Kaigo doing what he can towards his bot side, was able to take the inner turret towards bot lane, but not the most ideal scenario for MSK just yet. Really looking for this Philippine team to at least maybe get an inhibitor turret, but looks like it's not quite happening with such a crucial member lost in that takedown from Team Anything.
Yeah, it's very important that Team Anything has removed a bit of time from MSK. They're able to stall the Baron because that was the thing we were talking about earlier, Arctic, that MSK needed this Baron to break the base of Team Anything. They wanted to at least help them siege and stop the split push from the Camille now. Ocean Drake at 27 minutes, not the highest value, but still a free objective. Gonna go over to the side of Team Anything.
Yeah, meanwhile, let's go ahead and check out where the rest of the MSK squad is at. So, trying to get a shove in towards mid lane and top lane respectively. Kaigo will be dealing with the onslaught of a push coming in from Shiny. Take note though, Kaigo does not have teleport. If ever funny business happens towards mid lane or top lane respectively, Shiny could easily make for a response with that teleport still up for him.
Yeah, MSK don't want to find themselves in another 4v5 situation. Note that Gary still does not have his flash available. And even if he does have QSS secured, you can't exactly QSS out of a Camille ultimate. So it's very easy for Team Anything to get on top of the very immobile Varus.
Looks like MSK, okay, able to take down all the inner turrets, but of course, what they really want to do is try to get in onto that base, at least try to get a super minion wave pushing in through any lane just so that they could put a bit of pressure onto Team Anything to prevent Shiny from further pushing in. But looks like MSK managing to find an inhibitor turret towards top side. They are looking to back away. Lockdown coming in from Eyebrows. No follow-up damage coming in from Team Anything. Just gets pushed back right there. Great shove away coming in from Exosen to disengage the members of Team Anything. Looks like Team Anything will have to back away for now. Not that many lockdowns to work with Eyebrows expending his ultimate. Shiny still pushing down towards that bot lane though. Looks like MSK will back away for now.
Yeah, Shiny couldn't teleport because Kaigo was chasing him down through MSK's own jungle. Now we're gonna see another 2v1.
Yep. Let's see if Kaigo and James can get it this time around. Great locking on to Shiny. Shiny gonna use that Hextech Ultimatum to try to get away, but Thomas at the end of the day will get that kill. So played it a bit better, not to mention better timing on the Mega Gnar, shoving onto that Camille. So well played by MSK overall.
Yeah, no outplay this time from the top laner of Team Anything. Now with the Camille off the map, MSK has way more control. Now they're sieging down mid lane. What can Team Anything do? Their ultimates are still on cooldown. No Shockwave, no Glacial Prison, so there's no threat on the side of MSK. The Orianna does have decent wave clear. Note that Baron has worn off on the side of MSK, so no empowered minions. Easier wave clear for Team Anything.
Oh man, that wave is way far off. Gonna give probably just enough time for Shiny to join the fray if MSK really wants to go for this inhibitor turret. Looks like that will be the Weaver's Wall. All 4 members trapped to go for the defense onto their turret while MSK hits away. Looks like they're going to try to engage right here. Hamas going to deal with the front line. Exosen managing to shove in Ravenna. That will be the save coming in from 404 though. MSK in constant pursuit of the Sejuani. Going to try to go in. Manages to shove in the Saya back into the arms of MSK right there. Team Anything, they're trying to disengage, but Shiny going to be joining the fray. Could be going for a cleanup. Great shove in coming in from Exosen. Hamas might be the next to fall right here while Gary tries to back away right here. Take note, June is still alive as well. That will only be the trundle up and kicking, and Team Anything gonna manage to go for things right there. But this is gonna be dangerous. There goes the teleport.
What can Team Anything? Can they end here? Oh my god. The death timers are still 30 seconds onto the side of MSK. This is a fed Camille. Shiny could end the game here.
Oh no, Shiny hitting straight away onto that inhibitor. That's gonna be Team Anything making the trip. 404 inside.
Look at MSK's base though.
Oh,
they're minions, super minions.
Looks like they might get the base race though. Teleport coming in from Team Anything as well. This is going to be the game right here. MSK, unfortunately, going to lose out on their first game as Team Anything, second seed of Malaysia, casting any shadows away, take the victory in Game 2 for day 1 of the group stage. Wow, what a game.
I'm in shock.
That was a massive upset right there. MSK, unfortunately, pushed a bit too hard in that mid lane, but she's still, in your words, what went wrong right there? Wherein Team Anything, in an instant reverse, took that game.
Well, I feel like, wow, just MSK burned everything just trying to take the tower, but they had to take note of the team fight. The team fight, I did mention pick and ban. Team fight would be in favor of Team Anything, and just the growing problems for MSK. We did mention the very fed Camille throughout the game and just not having the answer to it towards the later stages. But man, I'm honestly still in shock because this is something we didn't expect.
Definitely. And I have to agree with you because, I mean, just earlier, we were mentioning how MSK kind of the fan favorite, high expectation, having just come off of Korean boot camp, not to mention their own 2 Korean imports. While Team Anything, there was definitely least expectation just because of the constant shadow that has been casted by the Kuala Lumpur Hunters. But we've been proven wrong right there. Team Anything, if there's one thing, it wasn't a clear lead through MSK. Team Anything was definitely playing quite well. Top laner, huge kudos by the way, was definitely quite a bit of a problem, and with that bot lane push in, definitely in the long term proved to be quite beneficial for the Malaysian squad right there.
Yeah, I think it was a right call as well during pick and ban, Team Anything had the option of whether or not to put the Camille in the jungle or the top lane. I think it was a great call to send it in the Gnar matchup because Camille can easily deal with the Gnar in the 1v1 because normally Gnar would just kite every melee matchup, but Camille has enough mobility and lockdown to actually win the 1v1 against the Gnar. So once again, well-deserved victory, I guess, for Team Anything. They're going to be the first team to take down MSK in this event.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. After that kind of puts the question into, because without a doubt, I think MSK definitely in probably their best form yet.
Oh yeah.
But with the decision making heading into game, that's something that we'll have to see if they could kind of polish out throughout the group stage, because it's those minute mistakes that, as we can see, cost them the game.
Yeah, and I feel like there were very much moments where MSK could have won. They did get the Baron, but one team fight, one 4v5 actually in the top lane allowed Team Anything enough time to stall. Note that Kaigo did not have his teleport in that specific situation, and I feel like that was the moment when Team Anything just saw the light. Somebody told them they could be anything. Why not the winners of our second game?
Definitely, and I don't know, man. It just goes to show with this tournament right here, anything still goes.
Yeah.
You'll just never know what could happen here at Globe Conquerors Manila. But of course, heading into Game 3 a little bit later on, because MSK is going to be taking the stage again, and they kind of need to get their bearings after this defeat right here. Question is, can they though? We'll find out in just a bit. Of course, for the meantime, we'll be taking a quick break with you guys checking out these highlights. We have been your casters. I'm Arctic, with me is Chisto. And of course, you guys are watching day 1 of the group stage for Globe Conquerors Manila. Catch you all for game number 3. Looks like that's going to be a collapse going on to Eyebrows. 3 members made, and 4 members of MSK trying to get onto the Sidlani, but 4-4 coming in to eat off the members of MSK from getting to the back line. Looks like it's going to be members of Team Anything tries to go in. June trying to chomp onto the members of TAT that go over in, but easily MSK going to turn things around straight for them. Already 4 members down from the count from Team Anything. Sai forced to flash away to prevent himself from becoming 3 members total from MSK, easily taken down. That's a Johnny. Tankiness, not a problem. Oh, but Hama is going to go for the flash taunt onto the members of Team Anything. That will be the Weaver's Wall to cancel out and escape from 404. 404 casually walking back, but going to get pulled back in by Exosen. Then, of course, will be Standing United going on to the Varus. Meanwhile, Shiny going to lock down Exosen. Moment of stasis for him, though, with Gary hitting in from the back line. That will be the takedown, though, onto the ADC of Mineski. Hamas will be the next to fall. Total of 3 members down for the count from Mineski. That will be Team Anything to have made the trip in the end. Eyebrows going to be front lining to prevent further from the members of Mineski. Going to try to go for the Oriana instead. That will be Eyebrows trying to get away. Moment of stasis won't be enough for the Oriana to tell the tale. Ooh, manages to take down Gary right there. Unfortunately, it's still with the members of Mineski coming in from the back line, though, able to salvage that right there. Oriana goes
like
down.
They might
this is the race, though. Teleport coming in from Team Anything as well. This is going to be the game right here. Mineski, unfortunately, going to lose out on their first game as Team Anything, second seed of Malaysia, casting any shadows away, take the victory in Game 2 for day 1 of the group.